enlightened parents do we have out there? I know I am one of them. I'm super excited to hone in on some of you parents today because my beautiful guest, Ronda MacNeil, while she has many areas of specialty, and I will describe some of those to you in just a moment, she's really honing and focusing on kids and working with parents right now because we have some amazing kids coming into our planet. Have you noticed that your kids are more in tune? Are they seeing things? Are they telling you stories from the other side? Are they remembering their past lives? Are they healing their friends? These kids who are coming in the planet are so, so important right now. And I'm excited to create this space to talk a little bit more about what's going on with our kiddos. If this is the first time you're joining, welcome to the Akashic Academy. My name is Emily Harrison. I'm the founder and director here inside of this most amazing space. And my area of expertise is in the Akashic Records. I am a mentor to other Lightworkers, teaching them how to expand their impact using the space of the Akashic Records. And my journey started in 2015 when I became an Akashic Record practitioner. And my guest here today, Ronda MacNeil, had a lot to do with the sculpting and the delivering of some information that I held so just cherished in my heart over these past few years that has helped me grow and expand. And I'm so excited to be sharing the screen with my dear friend, Rhonda. Rhonda, welcome back to the show, my friend. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. So good to be here. I'm just going to grab my phone, take a moment, like it up, share it out. I'm going to invite you guys to do the same. Rhonda, while we're all sharing out and just creating this most sacred space, we'll give everybody just a little bit of background about your area of expertise and how you show up to direct people and really help people.
Okay. Well, what I do, Emily, is I work with people's birth dates. It's numerology. And I also work with the name, but mostly I've been guided to work with the birthday. It's your life purpose number. Our name is our destiny number, and our destiny changes when our name changes. And so our birth date never changes. And so I work with the birth date mostly. And I also work with oracle cards, power animal spirit guides, romance, or past lives. And the past lives, I love those. The romance, I work with a lot of people's relationships and, like you mentioned, children. So it's just, they all tie together. It just seems, it's amazing how they all tie together, even with our animal spirit guides.
I love it. And speaking of tying everything together, I got to tell everybody the story. If you didn't, it was almost exactly 1 year ago today that you joined me for the first time. And probably almost a year before that when we met that beautiful day in Palm Springs in the crystal shop. So guys, I just want to update you. If you haven't heard this story, you can already see like my cheeks are starting to beam. My family is in Palm Springs and I lived there for a bit. There's a crystal shop there, Crystal Fantasy, that I love. I go in there and chat it up, buy stuff every time I come into the area. And right after I had received my practitioner license to be an Akashic record reader, I went in and there was a psychic fair going on and I felt drawn to Rhonda. I kind of like scanned the room and I felt pulled in by her energy. So I went and plopped down and got myself a reading. And she gave me a really, really cool reading. A reading that actually in the animal spread, I took a picture and many days later in a dream, I had an understanding and awareness of a past life as the Oracle of the Sphinx, which was huge for me. And it was really interesting because there was the lion and the eagle and like all of this information coming through. But that's not the cool part of the story that I wanted to share. After Rhonda gave me this incredible reading, you guys have been hanging out with me for a while. You know that I tend to like jump on that. Like when that courage rises up in you, I jump on it. I don't give myself time to talk myself out of it. So I said to her, hey, I just got my Akashic Record practitioner license. Would you like a little reading? And she was totally game for me to give her a reading. I was absolutely brand new at doing this at that point in time. And it's actually, I feel the emotion rising in me. Thank you for being a valued mentor and creating that space for me to be new and me to jump in and me to be like, hey, can I show this to you? Because you really gave me a lot of confidence that I took with me. And that's not even the part that I want to tell everybody that you gave me that I took. So remember that book that you said? Mm-hmm. You told me, you said, there's this book that's coming through really strong for you. it was a book that was out of print. It was written by Janet Cunningham, and it was called A Tribe Returns. And I got super excited because I was still at the phase where, you know, you get that good book and you read it and you get very activated and turned on. I'm all excited. I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I got a big activation coming. This was the most boring book. I was struggling to get through it. I'm like, oh, damn it. However, it wasn't for the purpose of activating me as I had had the experience with different books and things before. It was to help me understand and give me the vision of what this lady was experiencing. She was experiencing a present life connection of reincarnated souls that she had specifically soul contracted with to do mission work here on the planet. They had a mission they were working on in a previous life, and they were showing up for a mission again in this lifetime. And that has, even as I say it, I recognize how much that has helped me to hold the vision in the space of those souls who are collaborating and coming forward inside the space of the Academy, from my Akashic Records students to the hosts who are coming forward, to the Lightworkers who are creating jobs doing this. And it's been the cornerstone of energy that I've held in my heart for a long time, my friend. So I want to thank you for that. I know you're super excited to talk about the work you've been doing with kids today, so I'm going to turn it over to you. First, just let me tell you guys, though, for those of you guys who don't know, I've got 3 kids, 14, 11, and 9. Rhonda gave all of them their very first reading. So the first time they've sat down with another metaphysical professional and had an energy reading, it came from my dear friend Rhonda. And they had a lot of profound insights and awarenesses from that. So I absolutely love that you are showing up in this way to help our kids, because you personally, again, touched me in that area too. So share with us what's the work that you're doing with parents right now for the kids?
Well, when we work with our birthdays, it really helps us have a greater understanding about our purpose in life and what we're here to experience in life. It helps us, working with the kids, it helps us understand the kids' journey, the children's journey. It's like, what are they here to experience in life? And it helps the parent have a greater, what would you say, insight about how to direct the kids, how to help their child become either more confident, allow their creative energies to flow, become more outgoing, and the energies that they work really have an impact on what that child experiences. And so when a parent has a greater understanding about it, then it's like it really like brings insight to the parent. And I just get overwhelmed by seeing somebody say, oh, wow, I understand now. You know, if that kid's like all over the place, it's like they have a lot of energy. There's like a lot of hyperactivity. It's very, very, very likely that that child has a 5 energy in the birth number. So they're here to experience freedom in their life, and they have the little butterfly, and they need focus so that they can not be so scattered, but they also need adventure.
Mm-hmm. What is the number one area where you're finding that parents get pitfalls?
Where they hit pitfalls? Well, you know, the world's so we're all so crazy busy, and I don't like using that word busy, but it's true. And so it's like, you know, most families, both parents work, or it's just one parent, and then the child is going back and forth. So it's like, it's hard to have stability. It's like having a routine, I guess. Routines change, and that's important. I mean, we've got to be open and flexible to different routines. But when it comes to working all the time, and then you get home, you're tired, you're could be a little bit stressed out from work, and then you got to deal with this your child that can be a little hyperactive and very busy, or they may be just staying in the room, don't want to be interactive. And it's like, how do I help there? Where do I get this person or this little one to be more interactive with us? And so it's like we lose focus. We just lose focus about what's going on. And our children are the ones that pretty much get lost in the middle of it.
I do that. I gotta say,
it's easy.
I try to stay focused on my kids where I can act as well. Even working at home, I find it's difficult to go from in here to out there. It's a lot to balance.
It is. Yeah.
The fact that I'm bringing my awareness more to it now and being more gentle with myself is creating some space for some deeper impact. But I was hard on myself for a long time because when I first started having my kids, I was still in my first career, which was a Hollywood actress. And I was so entangled in that desire for validation and growth and acceptance in that space. It was hard for me to connect with my kids. Like, I was plugged into Hollywood. Literally a week after I had birthed these amazing beings, I'm off going to commercial auditions, trying to get a job. So I had to forgive myself and create that space for understanding. It took me longer to fully embrace motherhood and understand how I could show up for my kids in a deeper way. I love this question here that Karen's asking. Can you tell me if my son Isaac has a gift? Now, do you work with kids the same way you work with adults? You break down their birth date to find out that information?
Yep. Yeah. And, children, and I don't have children, but I have many nieces and nephews, so I can relate to this through my experiences with them. But children born on the millennium and their past or close to it are just like so connected. They're in so much of a higher realm of consciousness than, say, our parents, our grandparents, because there was not as much energy in the world. There was a focus then more so than what there is now. But usually all children are gifted in some way.
Absolutely.
Really believe that.
So if you guys are interested in finding what the specific areas and breakdowns are for your kids, please reach out to Rhonda. She can definitely help you locate that information and really figure out how to hone in on understanding how to show up and support your kids. So Rhonda, actually, let's see, we have another quick little comment here. I want to read Catherine's comment. She doesn't get to spend much time with her daughter, but when she does, she loves connecting spiritually, and she opened her mind to meditation. I love that. I love parents who bring in that understanding of meditation, understanding of these magical energies. My daughter has cards herself that she likes to read. Rhonda, I want to get back into talking more about exactly what it is that you've created in terms of how to work with adults. Are they one-on-one sessions? Are they classes? How does that process work?
I haven't developed classes yet. I work out at Crystal Fantasy 4 days a week. Crystal Fantasy is the crystal healing store in Palm Springs. And if you just Google Crystal Fantasy, the site will come up. Or Facebook, Crystal Fantasy. They advertise quite a bit. They have a great following. They post events that they have. And on the weekends, there is what they call a psychic fair every weekend. And then on a couple of days a week, I'm at a health spa. It's called We Care Spa. And it's headed towards Desert Hot Springs in Sky Valley. And there I work with the guests at the spa. But I also do phone readings. So on my time off, I do phone readings. And that's where I can connect a lot on one-on-one with people. I've also grown to do Skype readings. And you can always come and see me at Crystal Fantasy whenever you're in town. So, yeah.
Very beautiful. So in terms of parenting, and like we're trying to all work our stuff out and get really, really good at this process. Can you give, what's your best tip for parents in terms of opening up, letting go of our guilt? Like what's the main area where we can focus to have really big impact?
Mostly it's about getting centered within yourself, which, that requires definitely getting in touch with who you are, your feelings, so that you can have a greater understanding about your child's feelings. When it comes to that, it's very important not to feel guilty. The children need space to grow. They need the, interaction with others also. But when it comes to the parents' growth, they have to grow, continue to grow. So it's important that they not neglect their needs for a child's needs, but not neglect the child's needs either. It's definitely finding a happy medium.
Oh man, is it ever a balancing act? And I find that something that really helps me is remembering that they chose me.
That's right.
They wanted these lessons. They're smarter than I am. They're signed up for these lessons. They know what I'm working on and growing on and what areas, and they compassionately agree to show up and help me see those areas where I need to grow in my life. And that's, like I said, it's been one thing that's really helped me unhinge from some mom guilt, because that's definitely kicked me in the butt before. And of course, when we start attaching to those frequencies, we just bring our own frequency down, and it's harder to even feel alive and connected and like we're doing a good job and we're receiving these messages. So I agree, super, super important that we unhinge from any guilt. Being a parent is one of the most difficult, I should say, roles, one of the biggest learning curves of a role that you can choose when you come here to this planet, because there is so much to learn that doesn't have anything to do with the kid. It has so much more to do with us and what they're illuminating back to us. So I really am so grateful for my kids being this blessing and learning opportunity for me to learn and grow. How about with the kids? I mean, what are some good activities, or would you say maybe a meditation or a process that parents can do with kids that'll start opening up that communication? If you don't already talk about how sensitive your kid's energy is or what they're seeing, how can we start to bring this into more normalcy?
Well, it's definitely about being aware about what your child wants to do or where their focus is. It's really easy to hand them the phone and say, here, entertain yourself, or a computer or a movie, plug in a movie here, entertain yourself. It's more about getting back to the basic simplicity, coloring, crayons, different crafts, more connecting with them outdoors, getting out more outdoors. Children need that. They need that fresh, need that space. And, taking time away from TV. TV
just
can be overwhelming.
Some old-fashioned play. I don't know how many of you guys can relate to this. Anybody feel resistant to play? I went through a huge phase where I felt so uncomfortable playing and like getting down on the floor, where I just was like ready to crawl out of my skin because it just didn't feel comfortable. And I recognize that's another area where we get trapped. We get programmed by this 3D matrix that doesn't allow us to fully operate in our own freedom, where we feel uncomfortable playing, and we should be playing here every day. That's it's such a great, easy way to jump back in and connect. If you have kids, get on the floor and play with them. Right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Super easy. Let's see. Jennifer Simpson says, my daughter is 2, and I'm definitely looking for spiritual ways of fun. Mine are a little bit older than that. I'm excited. I would be excited to hear about other ideas that you parents have, or maybe ideas that you, Rhonda, have for our little ones like that, because they're so impressionable at that age. You can make such a good impact by playing fairies, or I don't know, what's a good thing to do with a 2-year-old to start getting more in touch with like metaphysical stuff with them?
It's like, helping them see what's new and fresh in the world. And, when we do that, it's like going outdoors and looking at a little bird or a little hummingbird and or a butterfly and saying, look, there's a butterfly, and ask them what color it is and help them to describe it and see what it's doing and see how they interact. It's very possible that they are feeling that energy within themselves. And so what it does is it helps us get back to our own youth. Brings our youth back. It brings the wonders of the world back to ourselves. Yep. Even looking at a magazine or a book.
I've discovered that that ability to be in that awe state. Now I can't sustain it on 24/7, but I will get in moments where I will look at the world that I've been in for the past 41 years with such new, fresh eyes that it feels like I'm having these awe-inspired moments in every moment. And I think to myself, this is what a kid experiences. And if we can string together a life full of these kind of moments, man, how powerful, how exciting, what an amazing world we can create. But like I said, I'm learning to sustain that on more and more minutes throughout a day. And it's definitely absolutely a learning process. So guys, if you have any other questions that you would like to share with Rhonda, we're going to be wrapping up in just a bit here. Rhonda, I'm so excited to have you here. Any last thoughts that you want to share? And then also, please retell everybody again where they can connect with you.
Okay. Yeah. And thank you, Emily. I'm so honored to be here again. When it comes to working with children, it does require a lot of patience and, taking deep breaths, and children can take a little bit longer to explain what their needs are because they're not always aware of it. And if we just keep giving them substitutes of what we think is what they're wanting, then it's not necessarily sustainable. So it's just more about taking some time, getting to know your children. And one way to do that is to know what their purpose is in life. Know where to focus. They need confidence. They need to work on expression. They see things differently. They're learning trust. They're learning about foundations, family. If a child stays in the room, there's a reason for it. It's very possible they have a 7 energy in their birth number. And so how to interact and relate with your children, it does require patience and time, but it's very achievable. And it also helps you to understand what energy your relationship works with that child. And so it's like if your relationship with your child is based on 12, so to speak, it's a partnership relationship, independent, codependent, knowing, if it's important not to give a child too much responsibility. And if a child keeps telling the parent no, there's a reason for it. It's because there's too much responsibility on their plate. But take your time. Children are patient too. They got to learn patience too. And so absolutely. A way to connect with me, you can call me. My phone number is 760-328-7821, or you can email me at rmacneilps@yahoo.com or Facebook me. And so, or come and see me at Crystal Fantasy.
Yeah, I have to highly recommend you guys utilizing Rhonda as a powerful resource. As you can see, dear friend of mine, she's got such a special place in my heart. And there's been ways that she's drawn my attention to really important things that nobody else could have done besides her. So thank you so much. I couldn't be more honored and just excited, like I said, to share the space with you. You've had such an impact and profound meaning in my life, and it feels good to share the space with you. So thank you for being here. Everybody, reach out, friend up Rhonda, give her a call. That's amazing you share your phone number.
Oh, it's my business phone.
You're awesome. I love that.
Business phone. I saw that. Uh-oh.
Reach out and connect with Rhonda. And of course, stay tuned here at the Akashic Academy. We are creating space for you to grow and expand in your own journey. Inside the Academy, every single week, we are bringing you live workshops. I teach intuitive development. My partner, Coach Nick, teaches mindful living. And we do full and new moon ceremonies. Of course, big eclipse season coming up. We got a new moon happening later on this week. These energies are bringing opportunities for instant manifestation in your life, but you got to know how to harness the energies. You got to know how to work with them. You got to know how to have yourself prepared and creating enough space within your being to hold these higher frequencies, which is exactly what we're helping you do inside the Academy. So if you're interested in joining us in membership for $11.11 a month, please click the sign up button at the top of this page, up top of the Akashic Academy Facebook page. And we look forward to connecting with you guys later on this week. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Emily.